I'll literally spend a month looking at 4, 5, 6, 7 publicly traded companies where I can get a lot of information. I'll study their CEOs, study their management teams, study their strategies, their dynamics, their growth profiles, and I do this thing. I map out their growth profile. Where do they start? What are the triggers that kind of help them grow? And we use that as another data point to really figure out, hey, our customers are telling us X. Mm-hmm. These other companies that have been successful and that have achieved kind of where we want to be, they're doing Y. How do we bring those two things together and sprinkle in a little innovation and figure out how to kind of continue disrupting our industry a little bit?
Right. So that clearly defines how you sort of think about the business, how you think about your company. How do you convey that message to the employees? How frequently, how do you do that? How do you get people to buy into that vision?
Incrementally. So I have a very well-defined process for this. This is where I do have a defined process. Mm-hmm. Right now, we're planning the consolidation of our manufacturing plants in early 2015. We've been planning it now for almost a year. Huge strategic shift for our company, right? Really going to change the dynamics of integrating personnel that haven't worked together before.
Consolidating meaning geographically?
Geographically, pulling 2 large plants here locally and pulling them to one campus. So we can actually leverage productivities and put a better look and feel for our customers. It's a big strategic shift from a marketing perspective and also a productivity perspective. And that's a very daunting thing for employees, right? So I take this incremental approach. I have 4 or 5 influencers in our business that influence the mass of our 85 employees. Mm-hmm. And whenever I go to any institution, whenever I join a board of anything, I always ask them, who's the most influential person in this organization? Because I want to make friends with that person. So 6 months ago, even though we were well over a year away from doing anything or making any final decisions, I started talking to the influencers about it. Because the natural inclination is fear. We can't change. Let's protect what we have. What are you doing? Why are we doing these things, David? But it gives me the opportunity to educate them one-on-one. And I've always taken this approach with any major shift or change we've done in our business. We've made radical shifts and changes in our business in the last 8 years, but they feel like very natural, slow changes for the influencers because I brought them in very early. And it's the meals, having the beer, discussing it, explaining to them why it's important to me, and getting them bought in. As I'm getting them bought in incrementally over a long period of time, they're getting everyone else bought in.
Right.
And by the time we make the formal announcement and we actually start making the physical change, everyone's like, oh, well, what took so long? Mm-hmm. And I have to tell you, that's something that we as a leadership team have done exceptionally well for the last 8 years, is taking a naturally fearful workforce who typically worry about what the job is in front of them for that day, and incrementally bring them along the strategic development path to make sure we can achieve what we do as a company.